Welcome to another Petishku, a bite-sized chat about current topics. Today I have a quick Zoom call with Tim from our Emo Portugal office in Belgium. We discuss some of the differences between Portugal and Belgium and why Portugal is Tim's home away from home. This Petishku is sponsored by Emo Portugal. Tim, how are you?
Dylan, good morning. I'm fine. What about you?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Listen, what is Petishku in Belgium? Or in Flemish? Do you have a name for it? Do you have petishkus?
We don't have a specific name for it. So when I'm in Belgium, I always use the Portuguese word, as it's also a nice way of introducing Belgian people to the way of life in Portugal. So that's why I always use the Portuguese word, in fact.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we know we're gonna talk about how Portugal is your home away from home. But what's your favorite petishku?
Well, I like the caracóis the most. Before lunch or dinner starts, I really like to have it on the table. That's one of my favorites.
So it's for people listening, caracóis is snails. It's got a bit of lemon, garlic. Everything's got garlic in Portugal. You pick it up with some toothpicks, eat it, normally with a cold beer. Very nice.
That's the one, indeed.
Yeah, lovely. Tim, just tell us a little bit about who you are, where you are, and what you do.
Well, I'm 43 years old, and I live in Belgium, of course, in Kanegem. That's a very small town of only 1,000 people, at about 90 kilometers from Antwerp and 40 kilometers from the Belgian coast. I live here with my wife and my daughter of 13 years old, and my little baby boy of only 4 months old. So I have a daughter who's called Lore and a baby boy who's called Louis. My hobbies are taking walks with friends in nature, and I also enjoy some fine wining and dining. And one of my biggest passions is, in fact, my job as sales director of Emo Portugal for the Belgian market.
Beautiful. Okay. You have a teenage daughter, so that's why you have to drink so much wine.
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the reasons. Nowadays, having a 13-year-old daughter in the house with all the social media and everything, it's quite complicated now and then.
Tim, tell us a little bit about your early experiences of Portugal, your first visit, what appealed to you, what surprised you about this country?
Well, my first trip to Portugal might be a classic, I think, for a lot of people. I did a city trip to Lisbon in the year 2001. I was very pleasantly surprised by everything the country has to offer. Very friendly people, very nice food to eat. So I really had the feeling this is a very appealing country for me. So in the years after that, I visited a lot of places like Algarve. I went to Alentejo. I visited Porto. I also visited the Blue Coast. But in 2005, I visited the Silver Coast for the first time. And that was the first time I really had the feeling of coming home. When I was in the Bay of San Martino de Porto for the first time, when I saw the Obidos Lagoon for the first time, I really had the feeling at some point in my life, I want to do something here. And that's one of the reasons why a few moments later, I joined Emo Portugal, in fact, which was founded by one of my best friends I already knew from high school. So that's how I effectively became active in Portugal. And now I'm constantly working between Belgium and Portugal in a very nice setting, of course.
Awesome. We'll get on to more about your village and some of the places you like. Belgium recently beat Portugal in the Euros. So, we're going to leave that aside and not talk too much about that because I'm still hurting. I'm still hurting from it. It was tough.
Well, to be honest, for me, it's always very difficult when there's a match like that to decide on whose side I am. And this time, as I told you before the match, in fact, I was even supporting for Portugal. But okay, the finals is not for Portugal or for Belgium. But let's enjoy that match anyway.
Okay, so for the Belgian listeners, don't get mad with Tim that he was supporting Portugal. That's his choice, and he's allowed to make choices.
Yeah.
It's a free country.
For sure. Yeah.
But let's talk about some of the differences between Belgium and Portugal that you see? What are some of the differences between the two countries, Tim, that you've noticed in your work?
Well, of course, the climate is totally different in Portugal than in Belgium. Over here, we have much more rainy days, but it goes further than that. Even when I am at the Silver Coast, the presence of the Atlantic Oceans give me a very healthy feeling over there. In Belgium, everything is very dense, very compressed, even at the Belgian coast. Portugal is much more varied when you look at nature. You really have everything. That's really a big difference between Portugal and Belgium. When the people from Portugal, Realty, Imo Portugal, from Portugal visit Belgium, they really cannot imagine how our coastline, in fact, looks like. Tall buildings, narrow beaches. So it's really a culture shock for them when they arrive in Belgium. Yeah. Another reason, which is why people discover Portugal more and more, and also for me, it's a very big difference, is that the Portuguese way of life is much more simple. When I'm in Belgium, I really have the feeling that I am constantly in the rat race. Everything has to go fast. People are nervous. When I arrive in Portugal, it's a totally different feeling. Over there, people take time to enjoy a good conversation with a coffee. So that's really a big difference. And of course, the cost of living in Portugal is much better than here in Belgium. When I come to Portugal to my colleagues or on a holiday, I have to pay like 80 cents for a pint of beer. I can enjoy a very nice lunch for €9 with a nice fish, everything. But when I'm back in Belgium, it always hurts to see that my coffee costs €2.30 and that my bill in the restaurant for one person is about €50. So that's a big difference, I would say.
Yeah, that is a big difference. Wow. Okay. I mean, what are some of the aspects about Portugal? I mean, you've mentioned the food, you've mentioned cost of living, the pace of life. Or are there any other parts of Portugal that you prefer to Belgium?
Well, Belgian people, of course, always look at properties. That's why they end up with us finally. So after we have guided them around at the Silver Coast to show them the real Portuguese life and lifestyle, we talk about properties. And also concerning the properties, you have very good value, of course, for your money. To give you an example, with Leisure Lounge Group, we still are and the possibility to offer a 3-bedroom villa with a private pool for €300,000. To give you an idea, Dylan, at the Belgian coast, you can even not find a 2-bedroom apartment for that price. And Belgian people are also very surprised about the high quality of finishings that we offer in Portugal. The classic one in the kitchens, it's counterstone in stone, and a lot of new developments in Belgium, they don't even use the natural stone anymore. So the quality of finishings are very high in Portugal compared to the Belgian quality of finishings. And people are really, really surprised by that when they come to Portugal and we show them some finished projects of us. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. I mean, from your, I mean, you've worked with hundreds and hundreds, thousands of clients that have come to Portugal, found a home in Portugal, fell in love with this country. I mean, what do you think some of the things, I mean, I know maybe it's similar to what we've already discussed, but what do you think are some of the other things that really appeal to Belgian people about Portugal? The people, the country, the system here, everything that you can think of.
Well, it's also a very nice country with a lot of different places. When I'm there myself, I also have my favorite places, just as my clients have. And even at the Silver Coast, you have a lot of different things. You have San Martino do Porto, which you cannot compare to the nice city of Nazaré. We have also the Óbidos Lagoon. For me, for example, I prefer to do nice walks at Praia do Salgado. That's a very nice big beach. And I also like Sítio do Nazaré. Nadadouro is one of my spots I really like, and if I ever go to move to Portugal to live there permanently, which is really something I want to do, I would go and live in Nadadouro. as in Nadadur, you are very close to the Obidos Lagoon. You have the nice city of Caldas da Raina, and Caldas da Raina is also a city that's very appealing to a lot of my clients. You have nice restaurants, you have even a hospital. So for people who will live there permanently, it's very important to have everything you might need in the surroundings. So the mixture of everything, the cultural items, the daily life, the touristic items, that's what's really appealing to my clients. And that's a very good thing at Silver Coast. We can serve a lot of people with a lot of different interests, and that's a big advantage of the Silver Coast, of course. Yeah.
Tim, there always seems to be a really nice connection between Belgian people and Portuguese people. And it's an interesting relationship, but it seems like something that fits really well. I mean, what do you want to say about Portuguese people, and what do you think? What do you think about the Portuguese in general?
Well, I think Portuguese people are historically seen people who are very open-minded and very friendly towards also foreigners, European people that come to their country. That's a big difference with some other countries in Europe where there's a lot of friction, I would say. Of course, we also have in Belgium a big building industry, and quite a lot of Portuguese people have come to Belgium during the last years to work over here in construction business. So we have quite a big Portuguese population located in Antwerp, Brussels, and all the big cities. Even in Antwerp, where we have our main office for Imo Portugal, we have Portuguese restaurants and everything. So there's a very nice understanding between the Belgian people and the Portuguese people, and you see that in every way. So that's quite important, I think. And of course, for me, we have an office in Antwerp. It's a very good location to introduce the people, the Belgian people who are interested in Portugal, to explain them everything about the Portuguese lifestyle. We have the virtual tours on which I can show them the nice locations. We do our properties. So it really works with the two parts, Belgium, Portugal, to let the Belgian people enjoy the nice country of Portugal. Yeah.
I mean, one of the more boring things that we should maybe mention, and it's something that you're well versed about, is the tax benefits as well for Belgian people coming to Portugal. Do you want to speak a little bit about that as well, quickly?
Well, I think that's very important, and that's one of the reasons why we have a strong reputation also in Belgium. When people come to us as a group, they from the start get a really nice explanation from A to Z on the technical part, the legislation about Portugal, and also how the purchase procedure works. There are some tax benefits in Portugal for people who will go live there permanently. When you have a job with a high added value, under some conditions, you can get tax advantages in Portugal. Portugal is also fiscal friendly when you have a real estate over there concerning inheritance tax to your spouse or your children. And of course, people always want to make a purchase in a secure way. As law in Belgium is very strict concerning new construction, it's important for the Belgian people to also have that security in Portugal when they purchase over there. So that's why I always explain them from the start that when they buy a house, they become owner of the plot, that they pay the construction after each phase, so they don't do any finance before. When they buy an apartment in a condominium, that we work with bank guarantees. So that really gives a good feeling to the Belgian clients, as they are quite rational, which is normal. We talk about a big investment. We do it every day, the discussion with the clients, but for most of our clients, it's once in a lifetime opportunity, of course. So that's really good that we can assist them with everything. Yeah.
Tim, you mentioned some of the places that you enjoy in Portugal and the places you visited. One of the things that we love doing on the podcast is especially when we have Portuguese guests, they talk about a minha terra, my land, my village, my hometown. You have an adopted hometown, Nadadoru, you would say is your. Tell people a little bit about Nadadoru and what you want people to know about it and what's special about this place.
Well, Nadaduru is a small town. It's very quiet, but really close to everything. When I am in Nadaduru, I can do nice walks on the calm side of the lagoon. In fact, the lagoon is quite long if you go around it. It's not possible on foot even. But you're also very close to the more touristic beach of Foz do Arelho. You always see the kite surfers over there. And it's really a town that is upcoming, and in fact, it's a bit transforming in a nice town with villas, not with high apartment buildings. So that's really why I like Nadaduru. In fact, we have some small projects integrated between the local population, and it's also very close to Caldas da Rainha. Of course, tastes are different. For me, the beach of San Martino do Porto during July and August is quite busy, so that's why I prefer Nadaduru or Salir do Porto.
Very nice. What we're going to do, we're going to put some links in the show notes of the podcast to your website. And also we've got some really lovely properties there in Nadaduru as well. So people need to check that out. We'll put links there. One thing I like a lot of things about Nadaduru, but one of the things that I really like there, you have a couple of places there that do some really nice petiscos.
Yeah, for sure. I know.
So when you get back here, because it's not long, you're going to be back in Portugal. There's some petiscos and some wine waiting for you, Tim. I look forward to seeing you.
I look forward to that too, and I'll be there the first week of August. So by this, brilliant. I invite you for a nice lunch with some nice petiscos.
It's a deal. One more thing, Tim. Just a resource that you would like to direct people to, that if they want to research a bit more about Portugal, a bit more about the Silver Coast and the different things that make Portugal so interesting, where would you recommend people go and have a look?
Well, for sure, I think our website about Portugal, the Simple Life is a good starting point to discover Portugal, because it's a good mix between practical information and also with the podcast, the Petiscos, it also allows you to see the first glimpse of the real Portuguese lifestyle. So everybody who sees that, I really would recommend to go to Portugal, the Simple Life. Yeah.
Awesome. And that's where they can see you in your first Petisco as well. So
yes, in my first Petisco, indeed.
Tim, thanks so much. I've enjoyed this chat. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. And for now, I'm going to let you call it.
That's a wrap, Dylan. Bye-bye.
Follow the links available for more information about the Emo Portugal website and some of those wonderful houses in Nadaduru. Please subscribe, share with your friends, give us a thumbs up, and please leave a comment or a review. We'd love to hear from you. Welcome to The Simple Life.